أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى أهله وأصحابه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon all of us as we welcome ourselves to yet another very interesting and educative series on our program, The Journey of Marriage. My name is ABDULFATTAH Adeyemi, and I want to welcome you once more to another episode. Today we want to look into the matters of praying for Allah's guidance before you enter into marriage. All along we were talking about the qualities to look for. We also talked about characters to avoid. We talked about the red flags that we must take very seriously. And we also talked about the things that attract men to women and things that attract women to men. And in the passing, we mentioned the things that repel people from you without you knowing, and the things that you could observe are very repulsive when people have such characters or such behaviors towards you. Let us now fast forward to, let's say you have seen somebody that you want, you have seen someone that you like. This is supposed to be easy, but it is not as easy as that. Sometimes when you have one thing, it means you have no choice. If you have two things, it means you have a dilemma. You will not know which of them you are going to choose. If you have three, then you are even more confused. But if you have even much more than three, then it's very difficult to narrow down to choose at least one. In marriage, for instance, a woman will marry only one man. A man may marry more than one as time goes on, but let's reduce it to the basics of a man or a woman trying to get married for the first time. And that is, you need to choose one person. Let us say you are so lucky you have so many prospective ladies you want to marry as a man. There are so many of them around you. There are so many of them that have shown interest in you, and you have also shown interest in them. You've seen the good qualities in these ladies. The problem now is, which of them will you choose as your wife? That is where there may be a problem. Also, if as a lady you are so lucky that there are so many men that are running after you, literally running after you, wanting to marry you, you have so many suitors, so many people are proposing all at the same time. And these proposers, these people that are proposing, they are all very good people. They are religious, they are upright, they look more or less like exactly what you are looking for and exactly what you are praying for. What are you going to do? There are ways out of this kind of situation. In fact, sometimes it might be just only one person you've got, but you are not sure. Should I go ahead to marry this person? Should I go ahead to say no? Or should I say yes? Or what should I do? This person has some qualities I want, but there are some other ones that I want, and this person doesn't have it. So many things begin to create doubt in your mind, even when everybody already says, this is the right person for you. This person is good. This person is awesome. This person is whatever thing people say and whatever things you have observed. When it comes to finally making the decision of going ahead or not going ahead, it can be very difficult for a person to make up their mind. Some of us, we have this habit of always doubtful of things. Some of us, when it is time to make a decision, there are so many reconsiderations that will be coming to our minds, and to take decision becomes very difficult. Sometimes when you have already got everything sorted out and settled down, there's this anxiety that makes you to become so unsure of yourself. And sometimes when it is moving so smoothly, you feel it is too smooth to be real. It's too good to be, why is everything moving so smoothly like this? You are afraid again. And when it is getting very difficult, you will be like, oh, well, maybe it's not good for me. That's why it's difficult. So at the end of it all, you get to see that there's nothing more you need except guidance from Almighty Allah. And that is why possibly we always say Ihdina sirata al-mustaqim, Ihdina sirata al-mustaqim. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path. We always make this dua. And this matter of choosing for marriage seems to be one of such straight paths that we are praying for. So whenever you say Ihdina sirata al-mustaqim, let it expand in your intention to this matter of choosing the right person to marry. A person may be good, but the person may not be the right person for you. There's a difference between somebody being good for you and the person being right for you. It's not everything that is good that's actually right for you. And it's not everything that you think is right for you that's actually good for you. But you have to focus more on the guidance of Almighty Allah, so that you know that you don't know what is hidden. Only Allah knows what is hidden and what is disclosed. You can only know today, you don't know what tomorrow will be like. You can only have some assurance of the only things that you know. What of the so many things you don't know about yourself and about the person you are about to say yes to when it comes to, will you marry me or not? Now, one of such ways through which we seek Allah's guidance in Islam, according to the Sunnah, is called al-istikhara. Al-istikhara. Al-istikhara is the dua or the prayer of seeking guidance from Almighty Allah. Istikhara means to ask for Allah's infinite wisdom in an issue of confusion, with the hopes that one will be directed towards that which is better for him or for her. Salatul Istikhara, therefore, is a very powerful tool that Allah has given to us. It's out of Allah's rahmah, out of Allah's mercy, that Allah has given us this opportunity to do istikhara, to ask for His guidance in all matters, everything, not only in matters of marriage, everything we want to do in life. In fact, if you want to travel, you should do istikhara. If you want to eat, do istikhara, if possible. If you want to attend a function, do istikhara. If you want to buy some things, do istikhara. Anything you want to do, please don't leave istikhara out of it. That is to seek Allah's guidance and to seek Allah's wisdom in everything that we do. So we should not hesitate to pray the istikhara before making any choice in our lives, either big or small. Do istikhara. So anytime a Muslim is making a decision, he's supposed to know that it's Allah that knows what is good. We human beings, there are some things we may perceive to be good, but they're actually bad. And so some things that we think are bad, but they're actually good for us. Wallahu ya'lam wa antum la ta'lamun. It's Allah that knows, and Allah is not ignorant of what is happening around us. We humans can also be confused. Well, Allah is never confused, because Allah has the position, Allah has the decision, and Allah has the precision about the exact things that we need in our lives, and what are the things that the thing should do for us in our lives. Incidentally, if it were only for our dunya, maybe it could be a little easier. But when we talk about istikhara, we are talking about both this world and the hereafter. So you are asking Allah for guidance as to the best decision to make that will be best for you in your matters of this world and your matters of the hereafter. Now, even if you thought you were sure of the matters of this world, are you sure of the matters of the hereafter? Because we are not sure, that's why we hand over our matters into the hands of the only one who knows ya'lamul jahra wa ma yakhfa, who knows what is apparent and what is hidden. And that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So how then should one do the istikhara? The sunnah of istikhara prayers is to perform 2 rakats. You know, like any other sunnah rakat, that you pray 2 rakat of voluntary prayers, apart from the 5 obligatory prayer. And you recite any surah that you want after Fatiha, and that is it. So let's break it down now. Number 1, you perform your ablution, your wudu, before starting the prayer as usual. Then establish the niyyah, the intention. Oh Allah, I'm making this ablution and I want to make this nafila. I want to make this supererogatory prayer to seek your guidance on matters of my life. This matter or that matter, you may mention it. And when you have that intention in your mind, then you do your takbiratul ihram and you perform the 2 rakats like we have mentioned. After ending the prayer with salam, that is to terminate the prayers, and then you recite the dua of istikhara. It's very easy. You can read the translation of the istikhara dua to understand what you are actually saying and what you are seeking from Almighty Allah, or you can also recite it in Arabic, because by the time you learn it, you know the meaning of what you are saying in Arabic language. So you can use your own language, you can use Arabic, you can use English if you want. And then you should understand that istikhara is not just done once and that's it. You may have to do it over and over and over again for Almighty Allah to grant you the guidance in what you are seeking. You may do it today, do it tomorrow, do it next tomorrow, or during your tahajjud. You do istikhara during your tahajjud when you wake up at night for prayer, depending on how serious this matter is to you, and depending on how serious the decision you are about to make is to you. The dua for istikhara, according to the scholars, they have unanimously agreed upon the status of istikhara prayers and the validity of the hadith of Jabir, may Allah be pleased with him. According to Jabir, he said the Messenger of Allah used to teach his companions to perform istikhara in all matters, just as he used to teach them surah from the Quran. He said, if any of you is deliberating about a decision he has to make, then let him pray 2 rakat of non-obligatory prayers and let them say this dua. And let me relate this dua to us in Arabic, then I will translate to English. You can find it in many of the dua book, the dua of the sunnah of the Prophet. Inshallah, you'll find this istikhara dua there. Many places you can find it. And it goes something like this. Allahumma inni astakhiruka bi'ilmika wastakdiruka biqudratika وأسألك من فضلك العظيم فإنك تقدر ولا أقدر وتعلم ولا أعلم وأنت علام الغيوب اللهم إن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر خير لي في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري فاقدر لي ويسر لي ثم بارك لي فيه وإن كنت تعلم أن هذا الأمر شر في ديني ومعاشي وعاقبة أمري فاصرف عني واصرفني عنه واقدر لي الخير حيث كان ثم ردني بي. What's the meaning of that dua? It says, oh Allah, I ask guidance from your knowledge and power from your might, and I ask for your great blessings, for you are capable and I am not capable. You know and I do not know, and you know the unseen. Oh Allah, if you know that this matter is good for my religion, when you say this matter, you can add choosing Abdullah or Abdul Razak, or choosing Muhammad or Muaz as a woman, the man you want to choose, something like that. Or as a man, oh Allah, if marrying Zainab is good for me, or if marrying Maryam is better for me, or if I should rather choose Hafsa, if that is okay for me, or if Aisha is the one that is best for me, you know, that kind of thing. You add, possibly, you can add their names in between when you are making this dua. Oh Allah, if you know that this matter of getting married to A or B or C is good for my religion and my subsistence and in my hereafter, that is ma'ashi, in my livelihood, in my existence in this world, and in my hereafter. Or you say, if it is better for my present and my later needs in life, then you ordain it for me and make it easy for me to get, and bless me in it, oh Allah. And if you know that this matter, marrying this person or that person, is harmful to me, or marrying this particular person is harmful to me in my religion and my subsistence and in the hereafter, or if you say, oh Allah, if it is worse for my present and my later deeds or later needs or later life, then keep it away from me and let me be away from it, and provide for me that which you are going to be pleased with me for. It's a prayer that I'm just paraphrasing what the Arabic version is. you can put it in your own language and the context of what you need from Almighty Allah. And this is very, very important for us to do. If you really want to get it again, you can rewind and replay what we have just said, and inshallah, you will capture it very well, inshallah. Now, what is the best time to perform istikhara? Well, unlike the 5 obligatory prayers that have their own specific timings, there's no set time to perform Salatul Istikhara. You may perform it any point of the day except during the forbidden hours of Nafila. You know, for example, after Fajr prayer until sunrise, you don't need to do Nafila at that time. Or about 5 minutes before Zuhr prayer, when the sun is at its meridian, until it goes past it, you know, you let Zuhr come in first before you do that kind of Nafila. Or you should not do the Nafila after Asri prayer until sunset, when it's time for Maghrib. Then you can do Nafila. Whatever thing it is, whichever time you have chosen, even if you are not going to do the 2 rakats, if you must still do the istikhara, you can do the dua alone without the Nafila any time of the day and wherever you find yourself. In fact, even if you don't have ablution, as a lady, even if you are not clean, you know, if you are going through your course and you are off prayers, off salat, you can just open your hand and whisper this dua to Almighty Allah. Allah will surely guide you in what you need to do. So when I say Allah will guide you, then how will you know if your prayer of istikhara is answered? Well, some people want to say, I want to see a white cloth to know that my prayer has been answered. Oh Allah, if I'm supposed to marry Abu Bakr, let me see a white bird flying in my dream. No, there's nothing like that. That is not in line with the Sunnah. You can't say, okay, let me just stumble or something, or let me just... You shouldn't be looking for some strange things to happen to prove that your istikhara has been answered. It's a prayer you make on and on and on. However, it is said that if there's existence of obstacles and difficulties in your path of choosing to marry that person, then that could be an indication that Allah is pushing you away from the matter. Or let's say you discover some information that confirm your doubt about that person in the first place. You suddenly realize that, this person doesn't make salat, or this person is into some things that you are not comfortable with, or you got to realize that, maybe in terms of blood, you know, genotype and things like that, you are not compatible with this person and you are not comfortable with such an arrangement. Then you may begin to see that maybe it's your istikhara that's actually coming to play. It happens like that. Then if Allah really wants you to marry the person, or if your prayer has been answered, you just see everything will be easy for you. Because part of the draw of the istikhara, fire siri uli, oh Allah, make it be easy for me. You know, Allah will make it easy and Allah will remove obstacles, and all of this could be pointers to the fact that Allah has answered your dua for istikhara. Let's continue now. You get to see a lot more of what we are saying. So, what if the answer to your istikhara is against your will? Let's say you were not really taking marrying Aisha seriously in the first place. You really didn't want to marry her. But when you did istikhara, then you started falling in love with Aisha some more. What are you going to do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran chapter 3 verse 159, Allah says, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. Whenever you have made a decision in your matter, put your trust in Allah. That is, whenever you have made dua, even in this regard, put your trust in Allah, because Allah loves those who trust in Him. When you have made your istikhara dua and your heart is inclined towards a particular person, you have to trust Allah. It may not always go the way you wanted it. So long as you are looking for guidance, then you have to allow guidance to work. We are not saying that you should not follow your heart, but sometimes even your heart can be deceived. It's only Allah who is the one who can thabit qulubana. He's the one who can, make our hearts to be firm and steadfast. The meaning of qalbu is something that is shaky. It's like feather that is in the wind. It keeps being blown here and there, here and there, here and there. So sometimes our heart may not be so trustworthy Let's put it that way. Because we have a lot of bias, we have a lot of greed, we have a lot of ignorance, we have a lot of misinformation, and sometimes we are just selfish. So our heart will only incline to our selfishness and our greed, not necessarily on the guidance of Almighty Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says to us in the glorious Quran, chapter 2, verse 216, Allah says, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah says, perhaps you dislike something which is good for you, and sometimes you like something which is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know. So let's give the knowledge to Almighty Allah, and let's submit to Almighty Allah who knows the hidden and the disclosed. So when your heart is inclined and you keep doing istikhara, and then Allah is showing you that this is where you should go, or this is what you should do, or Allah begins to bring up some information to you that will make you to realize that this is not where you should go. But you are having all of this, these greedy, selfish things that makes you to feel, oh Allah, I have to marry this one. Oh Allah, I have to marry Maryam. Oh Allah, please let Abdullah be the one that I should marry. When you begin to put things that way, it means you are going ahead of your istikhara. You are not ready to trust Allah. So we must understand that, number one, istikhara is like any other dua. When you make dua to Almighty Allah, you allow Allah to answer your prayers. When you make dua, Allah is the only one that can grant it. It's not that whether you see a sign or you see a symbol or things like that, you have to let your heart follow Almighty Allah's injunctions. Number two, that's injunction to be prayer, Allah, to be patient. Allah says, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salat. Or you believe, seek Allah's help with patience, perseverance, and with salat. That is with dua and with making regular prayers. Then do not threaten Allah when you are making your istikhara. Oh Allah, look, you have to do this for me. Oh Allah, you have to choose so and so person for me. Don't say, oh Allah, you have to. Don't threaten Allah. Oh Allah, if you don't make me to marry Aisha, I'm not going to marry again. Or, oh Allah, it is either Uthman or I won't marry anybody again. Don't threaten Allah with your istikhara, making Allah to feel that, astaghfirullah, making Allah to feel, look, even if Uthman is not good for me, make him be good for me. That kind of a thing. No, don't do istikhara that way. So don't put a threat in your istikhara. Oh Allah, you must choose Kulthum for me, for example. Then don't give Allah a timetable or deadline, and don't give Allah a work schedule. Don't say, Allah, between now and the next 2 months, fakot, the next 2 months, you must choose somebody for me. Don't say, oh Allah, look, between now and the Eid al-Fitr, oh Allah, between now and Ramadan, oh Allah, you must choose. No, don't give Allah a timetable. And don't give Allah a deadline. Don't say, oh Allah, as soon as I go for the halakha in the masjid, oh Allah, as soon as I go for Jumat in the masjid today, let me, whether it is Uthman or Abu Bakr I should marry, let any of them say Salaam Alaikum to me. The one I should marry is the one that should greet me first. No, don't begin to sound too, like that. Don't try to, give Allah a kind of working schedule. Allah, between this time and this time, between that time and that time, and then you want angels to come and instigate somebody to talk to you about marriage. Then don't try to bribe Allah. Don't say, oh Allah, you know that I'm your best buddy. Oh Allah, you know I'm your this one. Oh Allah, okay, I'm going to do this one so that you choose this person for me. Oh Allah, what if I do sadaqah? Won't you make it to be that Muhammad is one that will come and propose marriage to me? Don't say, oh Allah, with all this sadaqah I'm doing, as soon as I talk to Hafsa, let her agree to marry me. No, it doesn't always work that way. Don't begin to bribe Allah and want to seem to be smart. And then don't limit Allah's choices to the only ones that you know. You may know Hafsa, you may know Zainab, you may know Aisha, but have you met Khadija? You've not proposed to Khadija, and you don't even know Khadija at all. Don't limit Allah's choices. Whenever you are praying for Allah's guidance, let it be wide, let it be open. Not that you can't be specific sometimes for Allah to choose for you between this person and that person. But I want to advise that Allah is much wiser than the choices that we try to give to him. If possible, let it be wider that, oh Allah, choose for me among these people. However, if none of them is good for me, choose another person that's even much better than them for me. Something like that. You do that one, and Allah will bring Salma your way. You know, that kind of thing. Allah will bring the Mariyat your way. And Allah is going to be so kind and merciful to you that He is going to provide for you in ways you never had expected. If it were the brothers you are looking at, oh Allah, I really love this Imam, the way he recites the Quran. I prefer him. Oh Allah, he reads Quran so beautifully. I want him to be the father of my children so that they will be reading the Quran like that. But you've not seen enough. There are many Hufaz out there that are looking for exactly somebody like you also. What if that Imam is not interested in marrying you? What are you going to do? So this is what we mean now by saying don't limit Allah's choices to say, okay, it has to be only this and that and that. Make it be broad, make it be open, and put your trust in Allah that Allah will bring to you. وَمَنْ يَتَقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah, is conscious of Allah, Allah will give a way out for the person. وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. And Allah will give your provision, your arziki, and the choice of marriage you are looking for. It will bring for you even from sources you never had imagined, sources you never expected. وَمَنْ يَتَقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. Whoever trusts in Allah, Allah will be sufficient for that person. Why? Because إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ عَلَى أَمْرِهِ. Allah will always fulfill His mission. There's no obstacle to Allah. There's nothing limiting Allah. There's nothing stopping Allah. Allah will always achieve His aim. قَدْ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدْرًا. Because Allah is capable of everything. So once you believe and you are conscious of Allah, that Allah is capable of everything, you will not joke with your istikhara, and you will not limit Allah even when you are doing your istikhara. Now, even if you have not found somebody that you want to marry yet, or that wants to marry you yet, still do istikhara. Maybe the istikhara is where Allah will take you to where you find the person you want to marry, or Allah will bring forth the person that should marry you. So you see, Allah is so wise. Allah is Al-Hakim, is full of wisdom. Al-Alim is all-knowing. He knows everything. So let's trust in Allah in that regard. Now, to wrap it up, alongside with istikhara is istishara. Almighty Allah describe the believers that وَأَمُرُهُمْ شُورَ بَيْنَهُمْ. The matters of the believers gets to be successful because they do mutual consultation amongst themselves. When we say consultation, it is not consulting oracles. It's not going to look for knowledge of the unseen. It's not going to places where they will say they do tarot card or anything like that for you. It's not going to, you know what I mean, trying to pry into the world of unseen. But the consultation is when you seek advice from honest and truthful persons. I want to marry this person, or I prefer to marry this person. Please advise me. People who are honest and truthful, they will tell you the truth about this person. So seek advice. That's what istishara means. And then seek medical clarifications. Know your genotype. Do other medical tests that will give you an idea of what you are going into, or especially of whom you are. And if possible, try to find out about the person or persons you are trying to marry. If they have some medical conditions that may not be compatible with your own health situation, then you have to be honest with yourself. If you are somebody that has some medical situations, don't hide it from the person you want to marry just because you just feel like marrying that person. Let the person know, so that if the person is okay with it, then you can move ahead. That is, be open. Don't keep some secrets on matters which will just nullify your istikhara. Then seek to see the person you want to marry and interact within the provisions of the Sharia. In other words, don't just do istikhara blindly. You've not seen the person, you don't know the person, you've not met the person, and you are doing istikhara. How will Allah put the affection of that person in your heart? You need to see the person, if possible, interact with the person, openly, in such a way that you have an idea of the kind of person you want to get married to. If the person has any defect or deficiency, at least you will know. And it's going to assist you in making the decision to go ahead with the person or not to go ahead with the person. Another thing is, don't enter a relationship blindfolded. You should be informed. You should be aware of the person you are proposing to marry or proposing to marry you or for you, and then they bring this person to you. At the end of it all, you have already agreed, you have already accepted, and only for you to realize that this is not the person that I'm actually looking for or looking forward to marry. So let us try and ensure that we take matters of choices in marriage very seriously. And above all, you have to understand that you are going to be responsible for your choices in life. As an adult that is going in for marriage, no matter what advice people give to you, you are going to be responsible for your choice. If you accept what people advise you, fine. If you don't accept, fine. But don't let it seem as if some people are talking you into a marriage that you don't want, or cajoling you into a marriage, or blindfolding you into marriage, or manipulating you to marry somebody that you don't want. Or some people are just deceiving you outrightly to marry somebody you don't want. If you allow yourself to be deceived, or you allow yourself to be carried away by your greed or your, all of those things that are very frivolous. I like the complexion. Oh, I like the way he talks. Oh, I like the way he reads the Quran. Oh, I like the way she walks. If that's all you could see, and you are not looking beyond that to see the characters, to see the attitudes, to see the deen itself, when you get into it all and you begin to find the repercussions of your choices, you should know that you are the one that's responsible for your choice. You may do your istikhara, which is very important, and when you do istikhara, you put trust in Almighty Allah, yet you still have to open your eyes to make the choices that Allah will bring your way. If it is good for you, you will give thanks to Almighty Allah. But if it's the other way around, it's possible that some details that you didn't know about, a person may make mistake, but you still have to be responsible. So we are saying all of these so as to minimize the margins of error and so as to reduce the possibilities of costly mistakes in choosing a person to spend the rest of your life with and the person with whom you go ahead on the journey of marriage. That's about the episode for today. Let's do this again next time. My name is ABDULFATTAH ADEYEMI. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.